The colony ship Meridian's Hope had promised them a temperate world. The surveys had shown endless summers, mild winters at worst. But surveys, Lyra learned too late, could be catastrophically wrong when conducted from orbit during a planet's warmest decade in 3 centuries. She stood at the edge of the Karathi settlement, watching the sky darken with something she'd only seen in historical archives. Snow. Real snow. Not the controlled flurries of Earth's biodomes or the simulation chambers where children learned about weather that no longer existed on their ruined homeworld. The thin atmospheric suit designed for sun protection, not thermal insulation, did nothing against the wind that cut across the valley. Lyra's teeth chattered violently. Her fingers had gone from painful to numb in the span of minutes. "Human Lyra, you are experiencing distress." The voice came from behind her, deep and rumbling despite its youth. Vec, the eldest of the Karathi cubs, stood on his powerful hind legs, his dense silver-black fur already fluffed against the coming storm. His species resembled the extinct bears of Earth's past, if bears had evolved 6-fingered hands and vocal cords capable of human speech. "I'm fine," Lyra lied, wrapping her arms around herself. "Just not used to this." Vec's large eyes, golden and far too perceptive, studied her. "Your species did not evolve for cold. This is known. Your ship's data cores explained much about human fragility." Fragility. The word stung, but Lyra couldn't argue. Humans were fragile. Their homeworld had nearly killed them before they'd killed it first. They'd spread to the stars not as conquerors but as refugees, begging for sanctuary on worlds already claimed by species who'd proven themselves worthy of survival. The Karathi had granted them a corner of this world, a small mercy that came with conditions and shame. "The elders say your people will not survive winter," Vec continued, matter of fact. "They say you will freeze or starve or both. They question the wisdom of allowing your colony to remain." Lyra's jaw tightened. She'd heard the same debates in the human camp. 23,000 refugees burning through emergency supplies with fabricators that couldn't produce cold weather gear fast enough. The math was brutal and simple. Many would die. Perhaps most. The first snowflake landed on her cheek, a kiss of ice that made her flinch. Then the sky opened and winter fell. Lyra didn't remember collapsing. One moment she was trying to run back toward the human settlement, and the next she was on her knees, hands buried in snow that had already accumulated past her ankles. The wind screamed. The world had become white chaos. She couldn't feel her feet anymore. Couldn't feel much of anything except the bone-deep cold and a distant drowsy sense that she should probably keep moving. "Wasn't that what you were supposed to do? Keep moving?" Warm weight crashed into her from behind, knocking her forward into a snowdrift. She tried to scream but couldn't draw breath. Then the weight rolled, taking her with it, and suddenly she was pressed against something hot and alive and impossibly soft. Vec. The cub had wrapped himself around her. His enormous body curled into a protective ball with Lyra tucked against his chest. Heat radiated from him like a furnace. Through the snowfall, she heard him calling out in his own language, sharp, urgent barks that carried even through the storm. "What are you doing?" Lyra managed through chattering teeth. "Preventing your death," Vec replied simply. "Your ship's data cores also explained much about human stubbornness. You would have died within minutes." More dark shapes materialized through the white. Cubs, dozens of them ranging from Vec's size to creatures barely larger than Lyra herself. They converged on the pair without hesitation. The first cub, a female named Tika, dropped something heavy across Lyra's legs. Her pelt. The cub had shed her outer coat, leaving only the thinner underlayer, and draped the still warm fur across the human's lower body. "Tika, no," Lyra protested. Another pelt landed across her shoulders. Then another across her back. More cubs approached, each removing their outer coats and piling them on the shivering human. Within moments, Lyra was buried under a mountain of fur, each layer still radiating the body heat of the cub who'd worn it. "You'll freeze," Lyra said, looking up at Vec through tears that froze on her cheeks. "All of you." Vec's response was something between a snort and a laugh. "We have underlayers. We have our dens. We will be cold, yes, uncomfortable, but we will not die." His golden eyes held hers. "Can you say the same?" She couldn't. They both knew it. "The elders will be angry," another cub said. Mara, one of the younger ones who'd attended the cultural exchange classes. She was visibly shivering now, her thinned coat poor protection against the storm. Let them be angry, Vec growled. They are not here. They did not see her falling. Why? Lyra whispered. Your elders want us gone. We're a burden. The elders are not always right, Vec interrupted. They remember old wounds, old competitions for resources. They see your people's ships and remember the wars of expansion your kind fought among themselves. He shifted, pulling her closer. But we cubs have no such memories. We see only this: you are cold. We are warm. The solution is obvious. More cubs had formed a living windbreak around them now, their bodies blocking the worst of the storm. They huddled together, sharing heat, occasionally rotating positions so no one bore the brunt of the wind for too long. Your data cores said humans are fragile, Tika spoke up. Her voice younger than Vec's, but no less certain. They also said humans adapt, that they survive, that they refuse to quit even when quitting is logical. Sounds like stubbornness to me, Mara added, attempting humor through her shivers. Stubbornness, Vec agreed, is simply determination that others find inconvenient. He looked down at Lyra. Tomorrow, human Lyra, you will help us teach your people what we know of winter, how to dig dens, how to preserve heat, how to find food under snow. And in return? Lyra asked, though she already knew. Humans always had to trade, always had to prove their worth. In return, Vec said, his tone carrying something that might have been amusement, you will teach us about stubbornness, about surviving on a dying world for centuries before fleeing to the stars, about building colonies on worlds that don't want you and refusing to die quietly. He rested his massive head beside hers, his breath warm against her ear. The elders are wrong, human Lyra. You will survive this winter. We will make certain of it. And perhaps in surviving together, we will teach the elders something about the obvious solution to cold beings in a cold world. Lyra closed her eyes, wrapped in pelts and surrounded by warmth and the steady breathing of cubs who owed her nothing yet gave her everything. Thank you, she whispered. Vec's rumbling response vibrated through her chest. Save your thanks for spring. You'll owe us all bedtime stories until then. Your data cores mentioned humans are excellent at telling tales. Despite everything, the cold, the fear, the uncertain future, Lyra laughed. Perhaps, she thought, humanity's greatest adaptation wasn't their stubbornness or their ingenuity. Perhaps it was their ability to inspire kindness in others, even in cubs too young to know that kindness toward humans was controversial. The storm raged on, but for the first time since landing on this world, Lyra felt warm, and she felt hope.